The White House is insisting everything is under control, but Border Patrol is now warning the southern border could soon see the largest surge of migrants in history. With Title 42 set to expire in just 13 days now, the administration setting up migrant processing centers in Guatemala and Colombia to try and prevent against agents becoming overwhelmed. Border Patrol says daily border crossings could surge to 14,000 daily. Right now, the New York Post reports 40,000 people are camped out just across from El Paso, waiting for Title 42 to expire. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is trying to protect confidence. Listen.
We do expect that encounters at our southern border will increase as smugglers are seeking to take advantage of this change and already are hard at work spreading disinformation that the border will be open after that. High encounters will place a strain on our entire system, including our dedicated and heroic workforce and our communities. The smugglers' propaganda is false. Let me be clear. Our border is not open and will not be open after May 11th.
Well, Republicans say the response is not going to cut the mustard. And in response to that, just passed a bill that would reinstate some Trump-era border policies. The top Democrat in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, is accusing them of weaponizing this issue. Listen.
If the Republicans are really interested in finding a real solution to this challenge, we welcome that conversation. I'm just concerned that too many of the extreme MAGA Republicans have chosen to try and weaponize the immigration issue, not to solve the problem, but to try to maximize political advantage.
Weaponize meaning that blaming it on President Biden not doing enough to protect these children?
That's correct.
Okay, Greg, so Title 42 is going to expire in less than 2 weeks. We just saw some evidence of what I'm about to point out, which is that Congress is the worst kicker of this can down the road. I mean, they, chucked their responsibility to try and secure the border years ago. And now, when we're literally in a crisis, they're spending the last 2 weeks fighting about whose fault it is.
It's frustrating because, we do this topic over and over again, and you listen to Hakeem Jeffries say the same things over and over again, and he's not even trying.
Yep.
We welcome that conversation. Why is it every liberal always wants to have a conversation, and then when you have a conversation, they don't want to have it, but they say we welcome the conversation? Present company excluded.
No,
Jessica.
I'm totally like that.
Yeah, yes. And then, of course, then they transition into extreme MAGA Republicanism, which is, who are these people? Or is it everybody? Is it one person? Please let us know. And then the coup d'etat weaponizing. We're always weaponizing something, right? I think we're over weaponizing things. Again, this is kind of like the A block. Why isn't this a story? Because the media has deemed it not a story. We can talk about it, but speaking from my point of view, I am not a, feet on the ground reporter. I'm a talking butthead. I sit here and give my opinions, and then I go drinking. So the thing is, reporters aren't doing this because they don't want to do it. So this topic keeps repeating itself and repeating itself. And then when you come up and you see this amazing work from Fox, we're down there, you get silence, or you get accusations of xenophobia, or even worse, racism. I think you got to keep busing migrants to sanctuary cities. You got to have consequences, meet the policies, do that until no one's left.
So, Judge, one of the problems here is when it comes to congressional inaction. We saw Republicans now, for the last 2 years, ring alarm bells about a crisis at the border. They've now been in control of the House for 4 months. This is the first time they have proposed legislation to try and secure the border. Again, 13 days. It came out yesterday, so 14 days before Title 42 expires. That does not speak of a top priority to me.
Well, obviously, it's the administration that's got to come up with the answer. And if you'll recall, the administration had the House, the Senate, and the Oval. If the Democrats wanted to resolve this, they could have resolved it, but they didn't, because it's a political issue that they can keep saying that the Republicans are cruel. Congresswoman Jayapal, she says that the way the Republicans are handling the border is cruel. We need a pathway to let them in. Now, juxtaposed against that is Mayor Adams now, a big Democrat of a big city, coming out and saying, I want FEMA to ban cities from busing people into cities. So now you've got the Democrats who are fighting with each other because, look, the Republicans right now are very clear. We don't have to come up with an issue. It's against the law to come here illegally. You need a wall, and you need to be down there to prevent it. You don't need to just let him in, 4 million at this point. And what I love about this guy, Mayorkas, who's a liar also, is they're spreading disinformation. The cartels are spreading disinformation. Are you kidding me? The cartels are killing us. They're not spreading disinformation. And it's a strain on our system. So what the hell, Mayorkas, are you going to do about it? You tell me. Are you getting more cops at the border? I mean, because 40,000 are at Juarez just waiting to cross.
So, Jessica, to the judge's point, Republicans have now made it a strategic objective to get Mayorkas impeached.
Right.
Will that help them achieve their objectives of securing the border?
I doubt it. It might be something that's important for this conversation if they really want to highlight to the American people that this is someone who has not been fulfilling his duties, if that's how they feel about it. But the best route is to get some bipartisan legislation. And there are 2 bills now. So there's the Homeland Committee bill, Homeland Security Committee, and the Judiciary bill. And Benny Thompson, who's the ranking Democrat on the Homeland Security Committee, is pushing back and saying that, you know, it cuts all of this assistance to nonprofit groups that offer migrants humanitarian help. But that seems like something that you could work out. But you do have Republicans who are also pushing back. So Thomas Massie voted with the Democrats, and Tony Gonzalez, a Republican in Texas, has said that it's too restrictive on asylum. Now, these are all things that maybe we can find a solution to, and then you can get that through the Senate. I don't know, but gone are the days, it seems, of the Gang of 8, or when people really want to be honest about these things. And if we are going to be honest, because that's what we do here, neither party wants to solve this crisis because everybody benefits from undocumented labor across this country. Whatever state you are in, if there are crops to pick, if there are houses to clean, or anything that you can use people who are living within the shadows here in this country to do, people benefit from that. And that's Republicans, independents, and Democrats.
Same
and
argument for slavery. Typical
What?
Democrat.
No. I'm sorry. Tell them that I'm not pro-slavery. That's like...
No, but you know what? It is interesting because that is the argument. I mean, for slavery, is that it's like it was a necessity of cheap labor. It's cheap labor because it's free, and in this case,
these people,
it's super cheap.
These people get paid the chance to have a better life. They're not like forced to pick crops, get nothing, beaten, raped, et cetera, right?
Well, they get paid, they get housing, they get medication, they get education.
They can go to
I mean,
school.
they're not so much in the shadows. I mean, they're like
No, but
living a life.
I'm just saying it's not really akin to slavery.
Yeah.
I agree with you that removing a Mayorkas would do little to change the outcome because this is the perspective of the administration. The priority of the administration is not to solve this problem. I also agree with you that at least one of the parties doesn't want to solve the problem, but it's not the Republican Party. The Democrats do not want to solve illegal immigration. I was just curious, as they said, tens of thousands of illegal immigrants mass at the border. What's this look like worldwide? I just had the producers pull this article from 2021. 900 million people worldwide want to migrate. 22% of them want to come to the United States of America. That's 180 million people. Wow. That's half of our current population. You know, the cartels have noticed a reality. Republicans have noticed a reality. Fox News has noticed a reality. And if we notice and say the truth of that reality, we're not propagating a disinformation. We're telling the world this is what this administration has done. They've opened it to a potential 180 million people to come to this country. No interest do they have in solving this problem.
Well, and by the way, we have not seen the real surge of people, which is going to be coming over the next 10 years, which is folks migrating here from Africa. Famine, disease, continue to ravage that continent. Most of what we're seeing is from Latin America.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.